Tonight was unacceptable, and I want answers. I know I'm not going to get answers by anyone connected to Arsenal Football Club, so I might as well just use YouTube and get some thoughts off my chest and have a mini rant. Now, obviously, if you unless you've been under a sun, I'm sure you're an Arsenal fan at this moment in time, people. We've lost 2 goals to 0 against Newcastle. First things first. Eddie Howe's got a great bunch of players. They're a testament to the massive club that Newcastle at. Going to St. James's Park is a problem on a football field, but it's a nasty ground to go to as a visitor. Obviously, Newcastle are a difficult team to play against. They're a massive club. After what they've been going through under Mike Ashley, they deserve this. So Eddie Howe, coaching staff, the players, all of them amazing. If you lot will be so kind to leave Gordon and Isaac in North London so that we could sign them, that would be great. Newcastle did everything. I want answers. You know, Mikel Arteta, of course, I'm taking your things out of context, but I'm seeing post interviews where you're talking about the ball. Last time I checked, the ball's the same shape. That Newcastle were able to put in the back of the net twice. It's a cup game. Your season is on the line. You know, you're in 4 competitions. We all know the negatives around injuries, question marks around the gaffer, the players, all of this stuff. A cup game is meant to be a welcome distraction. Your Arsenal Football Club, you're supposed to want to win a trophy. Newcastle haven't won a trophy in God knows how many years. No disrespect. They look like a team that didn't want to disappoint their fans that have made that journey, want to achieve what they want to achieve across all aspects this Premier League, and crucially, get the win. And I can't fault Newcastle. Eddie Howe's taking off Isaac after 60 minutes and making subs. Clean sheet, obviously a 2-goal cushion. Going to their place in a month's time is scary, and it adds to the mess of Arsenal Football Club. We're all in this together, but Gaffer, I'll be real. As much as, you know, it's a cup competition and you've got to take your chances, this game is merely just a microcosm in almost what we're seeing every week. The football is stale. It's lacking invention. It's lacking intention. Yes, we can talk about XG and points and all of that kind of crap. That doesn't win football matches. Put the ball in the back of the net. Because everything that we ask from our strikers, beyond ability, which Isaac is better than everybody, Isaac is doing everything that we claim to want from a striker. He's dropping deep. He's working the channels. The link-up play is amazing. Newcastle are cutting us open in 2-3 passes. They're taking advantage of our poor and lapses in defense, in our lapses of concentration in defense. Even the game today, Lewis Skelly, another week where a young teenager learning the tricks of the trades of the game has been head and shoulders above his teammates. That in itself is a disgrace to his teammates because he's looking like the experienced player that's played for this team for a number of seasons, trying to fight for trophies, etc. Just like Ethan against Brentford. As a matter of fact, them two the whole season. It's shambolic. I'm not here to dig anyone out. We're all here together. Mikel Arteta, what's going on? Kai Havertz is crossing the ball for Gabriel Jesus. This is not making sense. You know, Newcastle, they scored the goals. They were good in midfield. Obviously, they sat in defensive units when they had to. We can't break that down. We'll huff and puff. We'll move it side to side. There's no invention. There's no intention. Obviously, we find ourselves with players that look leggy, players that are not good enough, players that are playing in makeshift roles because of what we did or didn't do in the market. And if you think you don't need to sign someone in January, so be it. Because you look on course to get into the Champions League. I don't know what's going on. Manager, again, the lack of shots. Yes, we had chances. Martinelli should be scoring. Kai Havertz need to hit the target. For the vast majority of the game, it's our defenders popping up like Timber and Gabriel. What is going on? Defensively, we're looking at shambles and we've been making silly mistakes. We're not taking advantage of our chances or showing anything clinical in that nature. Midfield, I don't know what's going on. Odegaard, you hit today. I love Martin Odegaard. You hit today. Captain, you hit today. I'm not asking you to, you started all right. I'm not asking you to out-muscle people. You hit today. Martinelli, decision-making, the less said, the better. Kai Havertz, I say this all the time. You're a limited player. I feel extremely sorry for you because you shouldn't have been bought by this football club in anyways because you don't help us move forward. But I think you're one of our more consistent players and I think you tried today. You know, they got you doing everything everywhere. We're not creating. Half of the moves we're breaking on Newcastle. Kai Havertz is winning the ball back and dropping. What's going on? Trossard, I think it was a better performance from you today, but the bar is on the floor. It's on the floor. Giving Newcastle goals out of nothing and take nothing away from Newcastle. That's what good teams do. You give them an inch, they take a yard. Simple as that. Simple as that. People are not following runners. Isaac is showing street smartness to push Odegaard, giving away free kicks from nothing. Okay, that happens. Defenders, 2 centre-backs are going for the one ball. 3 players are not following runners. You know, people are drifting past. And yeah, I wouldn't say Newcastle were up there and we were down there. It was kind of even, but fundamentally, football's decided in both ends. You don't defend well enough, whether you give a million chances or 2 chances like today. You don't put the ball in the back of the net. You can't get anything from the game. And when you add under the magnifying glass, apologies, people. Let me get a drink. No edits. Damn. Wish this was something stronger. But when do you throw into it that it's a cup game? Issues. If you get bought by Man United, it's gonna get dark. It's gonna get dark. And Mikel Arteta, you got no excuses. The club, better yet, forget the Mikel Arteta in the club. The size of the squad, the quality in the squad, improving on this squad. We're talking about the same things week in, week out. Any team that's switched on defensively, we're already in trouble. We've got no difference makers on the pitch. Realistically, we're carrying a lot of players. There's a lot of players that are showing a lack of consistency. I actually think Declan Rice was one of our better players. But why is he in the 8? Cool, you want him to nick the ball higher up. And just because you're as a 6 doesn't mean you don't have to do that, but put people in their best positions, because you sign up for what you sign up for today. I think Jorginho was one of our better players, again, off the bench, but that doesn't mean anything. Got a mountain to climb. Of course, I hope that this is, sunshine and rainbows and it says defying comeback. But, it feels like where Arsenal are concerned. If you haven't watched the movie Coach Carter and you haven't Training Day and Mighty Ducks, go and watch that. Go and watch that because that's how it ends. And do you know what? You lot are going to have to sit here in May. Forget the fans for a second. The players, the managers, you lot are going to have to sit here and it's a wasted season. Regress defensively, regressed in midfield, regressed in the final third, and still you've got something to play for. And you go out there and play like that in a cup game where you lot are not idiots. Of course you want to win the Prem. Madness. Of course you want to win the champs. Madness. FA Cup, don't mess about against Man United, didn't it? Because your season can get wrapped up in 10 days. You've got North London Derby as well. This could be your only chance of some sort of silverware. And you've lot of flunked it. Gaffer as well. You flunked it. What's going on? It's the same thing week in, week out. Half path, half chances, barely double figures for shots on target. Of course, context is key. But I'm pretty sure I'm willing to bet, I ain't know the maths thing, and I'm pretty sure I should really put it on screen now. I'm sure if I go from the start of the season to now, the average that of terms of shots on target have probably been about 3. Because we are creating and we've got eyes, we need to score, but these are not quality efforts. You haven't got a player like Isaac that can make his own goals. Newcastle were just competent, street smart. Players stood up to be counted. Lewis Hall, quality game. Joe Linton mucking in. Isaac, man of the match. Gordon, madman. Quality players, even Murphy and all them other guys. Dan Burn, the Brad guy had effort to do, really, they had effort to do. Couple goal mouth scrambles where it looked like in secondary school where you're playing football and everyone's chasing the ball. You're defeating yourselves. You're cheating yourselves. You're cheating the club. You're cheating the badge on the back, the badge on the front. You're cheating the last name you've got. You're cheating yourselves. Everyone, including the manager, you're devoid of ideas. The team, more than anything, and beyond the obvious, because I do think we competed, but fundamentally we lost. But beyond the obvious, look spent. Everyone looks spent. Odegaard probably spent because he's up all night with a kid, but the team looks spent. They're devoid of ideas. I don't see any protagonists. I don't see too many players 9 times out of 10 taking individual responsibility. And if you go and watch the game back, of course we conceded 2 goals. The defense could have done better, several people. But even though Lewis Skelly was great, Gabriel and Saliba is what it is. Timber, I don't think you got embarrassed by Gordon. Go and look at how nervous they are. TV, it's hard to see, but you can see it on TV. And I'm pretty sure if you was at the game, let me know in the comments. Do you know how many times they looked unsure? Saliba is saying this, Gabriel saying this. They looked at 6s and 7s. Raya probably could have done better on reflection for at least one of the goals. He just sums it up. So when you're not defending well, when you're not clinical or anything next to competent in the final third, regardless of where we might be placed in all these competitions, when there's questions about the midfield, how do you expect to win games? How do you expect to win a run of games? How do you expect to take advantage of Liverpool? How do you expect to win a trophy at the end of the season? Pardon me. What's going on? Everything, and I've said, do you know when I said all of this at the end of the transfer window, and also if you want to go for when the season started, Aston Villa away, because it's the same things week in, week out. Of course, football fluctuates. All of these players and the manager, everybody connected to this football club needs to have a long, hard look in the mirror. If you think that this is sustainable in terms of the performance level, the depth of the squad, it's crazy, because your season can be wrapped up in 10 days if you still hold on to the league. If you're still somewhat optimistic that we can go to St. James's Park and define the odds, weirder things have happened. If you hope that a miracle will finally happen for this football club in a European competition, you'll have cheated yourselves. And those above Mikel, make no mistake, Mikel Arteta, you've engineered your own downfall. Yes, you've been dealt an extremely harsh hand where it comes to injuries, but make your own luck. Even on the best of days, our squad is thin. You didn't do what you needed to do. The finances you've had available, you didn't know what you needed to do. Of course, hindsight's a wonderful thing. But some of that Newcastle signed is that you signed Kai Havertz. And you signed Kai Havertz to play in midfield. He's up front now. You still haven't addressed that 8. Still haven't found that, a comfortable role for Rice. Still haven't found individual brilliance off the bench. Still haven't found solutions to underperforming players. And make no mistake, every one of those effing players need to stand up to be counted because everyone's out there. What's going on? Cheated yourselves. Those above Mikel Arteta. I'm not saying it's the right or wrong decision for Mikel Arteta to get a new deal. But the minute we've had 2 seasons back in Europe, instantly new contract for the gaffer. Immediately, foot's off the gas. We've got some stability. We'll probably be in the Champions League next year. What's going on? I don't want to see no think pieces about war chess and PSR, this and that. You need to act in the market. You need to. There's no way out of this. And there's no way out of this. You have to act. I'm not even, I would love Isaac and Kudus and Anthony Gordon and Nico Williams and this one and that one. You need to find someone. There's no excuse. This is why I don't fall for this BS that some fans fall for when we get into situations mid-season where there's injuries, where people say, oh, who was going to buy? We've got Kai Havertz up front. Who's on the market? There's no excuses. No excuses. It's a shambles. It's a shambles. And you're cheating yourselves. You're ruining what could be special. Those above Mikel Arteta need to act in the market. Don't act in the market. Forget it. Forget it. Every one of those players, bar, I would say probably Lewis Skelly, need to look in the mirror. Gaffer, you need to look in the mirror because it's going to get dark. Man United probably licking their lips. Arsenal licking their wounds after the Newcastle game and the Brighton game. They had a positive point. Better yet, beyond just getting a point at Anfield and how good of a point that is for United, the mentality and how they went about it, they're licking their lips. They're probably wanting revenge. You've got a couple of games at home. You lost to Newcastle now. You got, I think, 2 in the Champions League. You got Man United the weekend. Forget about it. Forget about it. We're a wounded animal, and a wounded animal in the wild. If the wild was a season, it's dangerous. People smell blood. I don't know what's going on. But Mikel Arteta, this is your squad. You've assembled this. You've assembled this for better or worse. It's your job to find solutions. If you don't think he's that guy and this guy, he needs to salvage it. If you don't think these players are as good as they are, they need to salvage it. Because what's upsetting, and I would say for the more experienced players in this team, Lewis Skelly, Ethan, have stood up to be counted a lot more than we've seen from you lot. Bukayo Saka, as great as he is, 23 years of age, another homegrown one. These are young men. Yeah, they reflect the young thing we're doing, but they're young men. Some of you have won Prems, won Champions League, played for your country X amount of times, household names, big money earners. You care so much about the manager, you put in performances like that. And manager, you dare to talk about all of these positive things that you talk about. And then I'll be honest, I don't even want to look at Mikel Arteta's post-game comments. From your blaming footballs and all, I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear that. I never saw a team that is 180 minutes away from a final, playing in front of their home fans against an informed and one of the best sides in the Prem at the moment in Newcastle. He didn't rise to the occasion. We lost 2-0 and everybody did what they needed to do. Defenders played their best game. Strikers did what they did. Then we go again. We go back to the analytical board. But it wasn't. And take nothing away from Newcastle because they did everything today that I want to see. How you can see a striker like Isaac and think what we've got going on over here is acceptable because money's been spent. Yeah, there's some nuances behind it and contexts. Havertz and Gabriel Jesus, where the 6'4" man is crossing it for the 5'8" man. That's over 100 million. Moreno's not a thing today, but that's 30 odd million. Califury weren't a thing today. It's 40 odd. So let's not act like money hasn't been spent. Let's not act like money hasn't been spent. If you genuinely believe that, I'm talking to those at the football club, if you genuinely believe we left that summer market after finishing 2 points off City and the bullish chat after Everton and all of that sort of stuff and thought, yeah, we've improved that starting 11, forget the squad because that's another question. Did we improve the squad? Forget it. You're either incompetent, dishonest, or both, or naive, or all three. I don't know what they're on. I don't know what they're on. And for me, if I remove the fact that this is a cup game and Newcastle and blah, 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 I'm seeing the same things week in, week out. That's insane in itself. I don't care about XG and all of that kind of stuff because I know the boys want it. But you're not getting the results. It's a results-driven business. People said, oh, the gloves are off and all these things this season. Now you see it. Nobody cares. No one's going to feel sorry for you. That's like life. You feel sorry for yourself, life gets a lot worse. You look, got to pick yourselves up and go again. You better watch that Newcastle game again. No one should have got dinner today because no one's hungry. No one's hungry. No one done no workout. Lewis Skelly, cool. You can get double portions and that. Jorginho, you can get something as well. The rest, meaty.
Always just like,